Anyway, I'm not going to mess with it. Good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I am your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today we are looking at giant snapping turtles of North America. The most famous, of course, being Oscar, the Beast of Busco from Churubusco, Indiana. But we're also going to be heading up to the Great Lakes region to check out some modern sightings of giant snapping turtles. So stick around and hope you are here for the ride. But I don't like to take these rides alone, so I found a new channel. I believe it's a new channel. I don't think we've ever been here before. I like her kind of art style here. She does this like anime avatar character and has like spooky shit. But this is Wicked Encounters, just a local cryptid sharing information on the paranormal for you, for your listening pleasure. But yeah, it's a 5K subscriber, so it's a pretty decent channel. I mean, bigger than my channel. And they got lots of videos on cryptids and conspiracies and folklore and stuff like that. And here's a Van Meter visitor we covered recently. Jesus of Siberia. What? Yeah, 31 days of wicked horror. Yeah, so doesn't look like... Oh, it looks like most recently they did the Mothman video just a couple days ago. Just yesterday. Well, you get him, girl. I did Mothman last year for Christmas because if you don't know, Mothman is a Christmas cryptid. Like how Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Mothman is a Christmas cryptid. So keep that in mind because that's absolutely true. I will take no substitute. Mothman is the John McClane of cryptids. Oh no. Did you kill Bugbot? Owie. Ah! No, Bugbot remembered your name that time. Remembered trees too. All right. So, yeah, let's dig in. Let's sink our teeth in to the downtown Churubusco. Welcome to... Actually, I'm doing this really southerny accent, but this far east, it doesn't come up that... Southern accent doesn't come up that north. It only comes up that far north if you follow the Appalachia or if you follow the Mississippi. One or the other. You can't follow both at the same time, though. I made up a Magic Zoo Boat song and video that will show on tonight on Saturday Night with Atheist. Dave, I'm a musician, so yeah, if you want somebody to make a song for you, I got a guitar. I'm way better than AI. No, I'm not better than AI by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm a real person. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Because I've used AI stuff too. I'm just teasing you. Like there's still some AI art and stuff on the channel. I'm trying to phase my usage of AI out. But we'll see what happens.
Nestled in the small town of Churubusco, Indiana, lies a mysterious creature that has sparked curiosity and folklore for decades. Believed to be a massive turtle or reptilian beast, it has become...
Is the audio okay on the video, though? I can turn it up a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more.
An enduring legend in local lore, drawing visitors and researchers alike to uncover the truth behind its existence. Let's delve into the captivating tale and explore the myths, legends, and facts surrounding the Beast of Busco. Hello everyone and welcome to Wicked Encounters, where we explore just what goes bump in the night. I'm your host Allie, and today we are going to discuss the Beast of Busco. The Beast of Busco is said to be an enormous snapping turtle that was first seen back...
And she does say Busco. I've always heard it pronounced Busco because the name of the town is Churubusco, not Churubusco. I believe, I might be saying it wrong. I say things wrong all the time, but I believe I'm saying it right and she's saying it wrong. Good morning, Native Atheist. You got your name all weird, too. Look at that. All y'all got these weird, like, got numbers and shit behind your names. I don't know what's going on with you two. It wasn't doing that, like, when I went to Ben's chat last night, it wasn't doing that. It was only doing that in mine. Oh, it's a little dark in here. Oh, that's a little too much. A little too much. Let's mellow that down. There we go.
Back in 1898. Now, wait. This is seriously massive and cryptid-worthy. I swear. It's one of the more interesting Indiana folklore out there when it comes to beasties, so just bear with me.
I like turtles.
Said to weigh...
Fucking right, me too. I grew up loving turtles. One of my first pets was a turtle. Red-eared slider. I don't like it. If YouTube changed it yesterday, they need to change it fucking back. I don't like it. But yeah, I had a red-eared slider, and then we had that we caught wild, and we kept it in a kiddie pool when I was like, I couldn't have been more than 4 or 5, right? The first like real pet that I had besides the standard family dog that we had was we had a green anoles. Which we got at the pet store across town. But we did have a red-eared slider, and I was also super into Ninja Turtles, of course. Had like a big crush on Raphael. Why? I don't know. I wanted to be Venus de Milo. Or not, what was her name? Her name wasn't Venus de Milo. What was the salamander's name? I can't remember. Anyway, we also did catch snapping turtles from time to time. And in the spring, our little town in Missouri would be there was just something that would happen around like late May, where all the snapping turtles would go out and would get out and start roaming around, presumably looking for nesting places. But they would wander into town. Yes, I lived near there. It's Busco, not Busco. I thought so. I have 5 baby snapping turtles in an aquarium right now. They hatched in a mud puddle. Are you fucking serious, Trees? Ah! You better share some pictures of them. They sound adorable. Baby snapping turtles are the cutest things. Baby alligator snapping turtles are freaking adorable because they're mostly head. They just like a little... Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to cover.
Over 500 pounds and measuring 6 feet across, the beast is said to live in the small Folk Lake that is near Churubusco, Indiana. It was first discovered in 1898 by a farmer named Oscar Fulk, who owned several acres of land and the lake that took up his name. This thing was a monster, hard to ignore with a powerful beak-like jaw. He tried to catch the massive turtle many times.
Oscar... and this is in the 1890s right now, but Oscar was allegedly up to 500 pounds, and someone might say that's ridiculous for a freshwater turtle. Alligator snapping turtles do generally they stay about 250 pounds is about the biggest you're going to get out of them. Still a massive fucking turtle. I've seen them that big. They used to have them at the St. Louis Zoo with their shells where I can't even exemplify how their shells were. I can't even show you. This does no justice to it. But like it wouldn't have been able to fit into the city issued plastic trash cans. Just to give you some perspective, it'd be too wide to fit in there. Yeah, they're silver dollars. Yes, they're so little cute baby turtles. You're going to put one into a safe container and you're going to mail it to Bree. Okay? And then I'm going to raise it as my baby. Because Clint's Reptiles has taught me the proper way to handle a snapping turtle now. So I don't have to worry about it. Isn't that awesome? If you haven't seen that, by the way, we've been doing it wrong like for decades. Everybody does it wrong because they're afraid of getting bit. There's a special way. You hold the tail and rest it on your palm. There's a special way to hold a snapping turtle. Maybe I'll link that. Thank you, Robin. It's my new look. I'm doing this a hellbilly Barbie kind of look. So I really do enjoy it. I have spiky jewelry and stuff. I just didn't feel like putting it on this morning. I was slow going this morning.
With no luck, and later on tried telling others about his turtley neighbor, but eventually dropped it when it seemed no one was interested in hearing about it. The beast remained an elusive, rarely mentioned legend for half a century, save for the odd person who would go out from being told the tale secondhand.
This picture makes me feel like I have to address this this Folk Lake situation and the art that's being used to depict it here, because this is not Folk Lake. Folk Lake is nothing like this, because Folk Lake is absolutely tiny. For perspective, where I come from. I'm from Missouri, right? So I'm not like throwing shade or anything at anybody else's definition of a lake. But where I come from, this is not a lake. This is a pond. None of these are lakes. That's not a lake. That's not a lake. Right? And for scale, we have the road here, so you can see how wide the road is, right? So you know how tiny this is. There's some houses and stuff here too. So the houses should give you perspective of how freaking tiny this lake is. Now, I digress that the lake has been drained and the watershed has been adjusted here, so it's a little bit different. There's you can kind of see where the lake used to extend up into here, and the lake was drained too, and back up into the lake. The extent of the lake looks like it used to come out to here, maybe on the south end, out to here on the west end. And I imagine this was probably part of the lake too, because this is obviously artificial spillway right here that's been dredged for this lagoon. Now we can get down and see a bit, and if you stand at just the right angle, you can actually see Folk Lake. You can't get any closer than this, though. So, but here's the lagoon that we were just looking at, right? And then Folk Lake's back in here. But yeah, it's what we would not, in Missouri, we would not call this a lake, right? This would not be considered a lake. It would be a pond. For sure. A pond shaped like Australia. But I just wanted to clarify on that, because they use a lot of visuals in this video that makes it look like this is a big ass lake that this turtle's living in, and it's not.
And that Folk had spread, until it came back in the spotlight in 1948. Folk had sold his land to some new people, who he then shared the tale of the large turtle
like a half a century later
he had seen from time to time come up from the lake.
That's the most foul, cruel, and bad-tempered rodent you ever set eyes on.
And then in 1914,
but turtles aren't rodents, farmer.
there were reports from the new owners that they had seen it for themselves. When Gil Harris bought the property in 1947 and moved in with his family, a wife and son, he wasn't expecting those tales of a giant turtle allegedly living in his lake to be true. On July 27th of 1948...
Even that picture of a lake right there is too big. I had a pond behind my house bigger than this when I lived in Warren, Missouri. And we did have big snapping turtle that lived in there. He wasn't Beast of Busco size, but he's pretty big. He's about as big as a... That's probably why I used that example. He's as big as I could fit him in a trash can, because we caught him a couple of times. Put him in a trash can and took pictures of him, because he was big and spiky, but nowhere near this big. He probably weighed maybe 25 pounds or so.
Harris had let Ora Blue and Charlie Wilson, brother-in-laws of his, go out on the lake to fish. They had found themselves a decent enough spot. readied their line.
If, like me, you grew up in Redneckville, you're used to that, though, because people just, like, you go to someone's house and their dad has a snapping turtle in a trash can because what they do is they keep them in there until they purge their system of waste and then they clean them and cook them and eat them.
Lines and waited for something to bite, and something definitely bit. Surfacing alongside their rowboat, a massive creature rose from the lake with their fishing lines in its mouth.
Jesus Christ! I warned you.
I've done it again.
I warned you, but did you listen to me? Oh, no, you knew it all, didn't you?
He's like I like to picture Oscar as more of a kaiju. 500 pounds is not a kaiju, but I mean, technically it is, though. Anything's a kaiju if it's monstrous. Oscar the kaiju sounds adorable, though. He could be like, snappers are good eating. Imagine they probably taste like alligator. They live for a long time, though, so I have a hard time thinking. But I feel that way about a lot of stuff that we eat as meat, so.
Described by the fishermen as having a head the size of a child and a back as broad as their boat, the waves rolled off of its shell as they would a rising submarine. The two quickly rowed back to shore, where they told Harris about their experience. Harris, of course, thought it more than likely to be a fisherman's tale. An exaggeration by his brother-in-laws, though the mentions of this mysteriously large turtle from family and others in the area started to make him believe that something could be off about the small lake. Then he caught a sighting for himself. In early autumn of 1948, Harris was helping a church minister by patching the man's roof.
I should do a Hogzilla episode. I don't think I have. Let me see. Hog? No. Pigs. No, I haven't. So I should do that. I'm gonna add that. That's what's gonna take the place on the poll this week. Thank you for the request. I'm gonna note that down somewhere so I don't forget. Where's my notepad? There it is. Hogzilla. Zilla. All right.
While doing so, the minister pointed out to the lake where something was moving across the surface. From a distance, it was clearly something big, though they paid it no mind since they couldn't tell what the thing was that they saw. And it's not that odd to see odd shapes moving in the water. The next day, Harris and
Again, just keep in mind how tiny a body of water we're talking about here is. I wish I could get closer to it. Doesn't do it justice to see. It's just a pond. I mean, y'all are smart, I know. But because we can see a house. There's a house, there's a barn, there's a silo, right? So get an idea of how big things are. It's at what scale. Yeah, so this lake is probably I want to say 80 meters across right here. It's as the longest point from here to here. It looks like it's about 80 meters. Not big. Again, it used to be bigger, but it was never an actual lake.
the minister noticed the shape again, though this time it was swimming in the opposite direction. Figuring the lake wasn't too far from their location, a half-mile at most, they decided to check out what exactly it was that was in the water. By the time they reached the lake...
How were they seeing it from so far away? A half mile away. And Indiana's pretty flat. My main thing is how forested it is. Unless... I can't get a good angle on it from anywhere, but they're seeing stuff from a mile away. Were they? It's all thickly forested. There's no easy way to see the body of water. It's surrounded. The best way you can see that I can see is this artificial bite here cut out for this dredged reservoir. I can see the water there, but you can't see it from anywhere else. And Indiana's not like Montaigne. So it's like they were sitting on a mountain looking down at it. It's even surrounded by lowlands, as you can see. Clark Chapman Ditch. There's a ditch dredged around the whole thing. The whole thing. There's this on this side. And then on this side, there's the roads. It's all flat. I don't know how they would have saw it from that far away, but I digress.
The creature had disappeared. Not being deterred, they got in a boat and went out onto the water. The two looked down in opposite sides of the boat to find the shape that they had seen from the rooftop. After a while, the minister exclaimed that he saw it. At the same time, Harris said that he saw it while on the other side of the boat. Now surely that can't be, exclaimed the minister. But Harris says it was, as he saw the tail right in front of him. Well, began the minister, there's its head right there. The two with their boat had found themselves right on top of a massive turtle. After that initial run-in, Harris claimed he saw the turtle quite often afterwards, and even took his son on a boat during one sighting to get close to the massive creature. When they were able to get their rowboat close enough, Harris had the bright idea to reach out and touch its tail. The beast reacted pretty much as you'd expect, lurching and thrashing away from the intrusion, which caused their boat to capsize. Fortunately, neither of them were hurt.
I wouldn't be surprised if a huge alligator snapping turtle wasn't capable of capsizing a boat. But the problem with alligator snapping turtles being responsible for these sightings is let me see if I can pull this up. Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Okay. Yeah, here's the problem. Here's the problem with alligator snapping turtles in Indiana and the upper Great Lakes. This is their range, right? This is where they live. And there have been, introductions like there you see, it's got that cited. Non-native introductions to different areas. But, and yeah, if we pay attention to where the Beast of Busco is, Indiana. Let's see. Oh, I'm upside down. That's why it looks weird. All right, so north of Fort Wayne. All right, so on this, north of Fort Wayne is going to be like in this area here. But, the range of the turtle follows Mississippi up that high, but it doesn't go that high out east, right? I digress.
Hurt in the encounter. By 1949, Harris had shared the many sightings he had, making locals begin to make attempts at catching the turtle in regular intervals, though all of the attempts failed. In the first week of March, about 10 or 11 men made an attempt at catching the beast with no...
You're gonna need a bigger... I would have... If that had happened to me, if I had been in that rowboat, right, when those guys saw that, I would have said that. I said, you're gonna need a bigger boat. I want to be 30 to 50 feral hogs for Halloween a couple years ago. I couldn't get enough bacon. The lake near my town reportedly has a monster. Is it Lake Tinkiller or Lake Thunderbird? Because yeah, we do need to cover that as well. The Oklahoma octopus. One of my roommates is from Oklahoma, so he probably would like that one too. Where the heck is that lake? I'm seeking if I can swing by on my way to Kentucky and find it. Are you talking about which lake? Lake Folk? The Folk Pond is in, yeah, it's not going to be on your way to Kentucky. Well, I mean, you'd have to go out of your way. It's up by Fort Wayne. I was actually going to go here when I was, before it got canceled because of COVID. There was that con that was going to be in Fort Wayne, and I was scheduled to go there, and I was going to visit, Churubusco, and I was going to do my picture with the turtle guy too. They have like statues and stuff, like in the town. And in the parks and stuff, the town really embraced its cryptid. Look, they call that a lake too. I will say that that's more of a lake than that. Yeah, this is an actual lake. Yeah, there we go. Here's a lake. They do know what a lake looks like. Papa's Resort is on a lake. But this, not so much. These are ponds, y'all. Liam's ponds, not lakes, Pa.
No luck, though they were said to have successfully cornered it off the shore in a trap made up of stakes and chicken wire in roughly 10 feet of water. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the turtle was much too strong and broke through. Though one would-be captor told a different story, quoted as saying, "There were about 10 or 11 of us, had him in a wire
She's gonna do an accent here.
fence, and we had him a-comin' and muck, you know? We knew we had him in there because we could see him a little, and we pulled him pretty well to the edge. I think if they'd kept on, of course they was pullin' a ton of muck along with it, you know? They was pullin' hard, and somebody spoke, 'Well, let's let him go. We can never pull him out.' And I think if they'd kept on, they probably would've. But he was a big turtle." Another man named Del Weingardner had supposedly gotten film of the turtle from his position from a tree, and farm worker Dick Zollman claimed he
I
saw
looked. I couldn't find it anywhere. So,
the turtle early on in their attempted capture, sunning himself 10 feet out from the shoreline. Zollman wanted to go out and put an oar alongside of the animal to see just how long he was, but Harris wouldn't have it as he was worried the action would scare the beast away. Harris was said to be very concerned about making sure none of the would-be turtle catchers hurt the animal. This concern led to many plans being vetoed in how the traps could be laid out. Harris
you
owned
don't want to kill it, and turtles can, despite their armored tank-like appearance, they are able to be killed. We're going to talk about that. So I guess we're not, because I nixed that from because I decided that the Hokkien turtle deserved its own breeze bestiary. So we will talk about that at some point, but I don't do two sections on the same type of animal, so we won't have the Hokkien turtle in the breeze bestiary this week. So, but it is on the docket now, but there's a legacy there. And when it comes to 500-pound turtles,
the lake, so he had the final say in who was allowed to do what in it. They also began referring to the beast as Oscar, little nod to the initial farmer who had seen it.
Well, it's always the same. I always tell
shut
them,
up!
do they listen to me?
Though some also say that Oscar is just a common turtle name in the area, which, how many turtles do you guys have if you have a literal common name for turtles? Like, that's just kind of, I mean, alright.
Oscar's a good name for a turtle. I don't know. It seems like a turtle name. Like Sheldon seems like a turtle name. So, yeah.
Right? Dogs and Max, I guess. Another attempt was made at capturing Oscar, but rather than cornering and ensnaring him, a large cage made out of pipes was used. The turtle was able to escape, though, as the cage was too small to go over the whole of it. The group thought that by putting rails along the entrance, the cage would be able to hold the large animal.
That's a hammock.
But the following morning, those rails were pushed aside, and Oscar was long gone. Quite a few people had made attempts at catching Oscar by this point, and national media had begun taking an interest in him when a young reporter from the United Press International sent the story all across the country. Honestly, the story couldn't have come at a better time, as America was between wars and people were desperate for happy news stories. The article of attempts made to catch a giant turtle, well, it did just that. These coverages throughout 1949 had prompted thousands of people to gather at Churubusco in hopes to see
Monsters are good for tourism. Ask the people of Louisiana, Missouri. Ask the people of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I don't know why the people of Loveland, Ohio don't capitalize on their frog.
See or capture the turtle themselves. And with some news stories poking fun at the idea of a giant monster turtle, Harris took it very personal as a slight against his reputation, dumping even more of his own money to find the beast, developing different traps with the local mechanic to try and capture him, and had also hired professional trappers and divers. The media was continuing to cover
divers again in this little ass pond. Divers. Can you even see in that water?
the different attempts, and it was becoming hard to tell what was fact from fiction, with journalists just lying about what was going on, sightings, capture attempts, and exaggerating on Oscar's size more and more. In April, the hunt appeared to finally be over when 2 Indianapolis men claimed to have caught the turtle, but it was very easy for all to see that what they had was a sea turtle they had purchased to try and cash in on the Beast of Busco craze.
Imagine a time frame where it was legal to just like buy a giant sea turtle.
It did give Harris
Good
an
morning,
idea of
Patty.
potentially
Good morning.
using a female sea turtle to lure Oscar out, but it seemed he was a bit shy and didn't make an appearance for his potential girlfriend. Harris had
I might consider that a female sea turtle is going to be about as attractive to a alligator snapping turtle as a rhesus macaque is to you. Not saying there aren't people out there who would love that monkey. My daughter names her turtle Sheldon. Yeah.
had even tried to drain the lake through the use of his tractor and a sump pump. The story of Oscar had
It's not a lake. For fuck's sake. It's a pond. It's just a pond. My mom built a pond bigger than this for Marion County in Missouri. And told them that it wouldn't hold water, but they built it anyway. You can go look at it. Actually, we can go look at it right now. I'll show you the pond my mom designed. Yeah, it's right here. No. And it didn't end up holding water. Look at that. That's how big it was supposed to be. But it's about the same size. We're gonna call this a lake. Yeah, anyway. All right. Back to Oscar.
started to fade, but this new attempt caught people's
Do
attention.
not try to navigate Google Maps like I do. I am a professional.
Again, making them flock Harris's property once more. Where once people were free to come witness the attempts, Harris was now charging a fee, as the number of people who had come onto his property had damaged his crops something fierce, and the various methods he'd used to try and catch the beast had hit his wallet hard. Harris had used over 2,000 gallons of gas, reducing the once 7-acre lake to a mere acre. Locals believed that perhaps the now fully dubbed Beast of Busco was hibernating in the mud. Finally, though, on October 13th,
So the lake here, they're claiming the lake's about an acre and it was 7 acres, but when I look at it, I don't know if there's 7 acres there to fill. Maybe there is. And again, I do acknowledge that it used to be bigger. You can see that it used to come out to here and come out to here, and there's a remnants of it down here. It doesn't look like it ever went any further north than that, though. I don't have a real good beat on the topography, but this section here may have, and there's that Clark Chapman ditch, right, that runs around the whole perimeter of the damn thing. But, yeah.
1949, the beast made its final appearance when, in plain view of 200 people, he put on his most spectacular show when he leaped out of the water to feast on the live ducks set atop a trap. Of course, he wasn't caught. After this, the muck
He
covered...
leaped. Are we claiming that the snapping turtle breached like a dolphin? I can see him lunging like a crocodile. I've seen videos of snapping turtles eating. There's a video of a snapping turtle taking out a porcupine, like it was sitting on a log, like it's a freaking crocodile. It was wild. I won't show it because it's pretty graphic.
Lake bottom took its toll on the pump, wearing it out and breaking down the tractor. Harris abandoned any further hunting attempts after that. He had contracted appendicitis, and during his recovery, rain had come and refilled the lake. All of the time and money Harris spent hunting for the turtle had caused his farm to fail, leading to...
I've had appendicitis before. It's rough. My teacher, because I was in high school at the time, wouldn't even let me go to the bathroom though. And they're like, "No, if you go to the bathroom, you got to take a tardy." And I have an appendicitis attack.
the family to need to sell the property, and the new owners of the land refused to allow further searching of the lake for the Beast of Busco. But that hasn't stopped the legend from living on. Since 1950, Churubusco has held an annual festival in June called Turtle Days, an event complete with a parade, a pageant for Miss Turtle Days herself, 5K race, carnival, a pie eating contest, turtle races, vendors, and much, much more. All in honor of their new mascot, the Beast of...
What I hate most about how AI creates the Beast of Busco is they always give him freaking teeth. Turtles don't have teeth. It's one of the defining characteristics of a turtle. Everybody's like, "Oh, turtle, shell." That's the defining characteristic. Also, no turtle has teeth. Like, at all.
of Busco, which has tourists from all over come to attend the 4-day event. Churubusco also has a small concrete statue of a turtle on the sidewalk at the main intersection of its center, so that they can always remember the legend that gave them national attention for the year of 1949. Still, we can't help but wonder.
So, there's more than just that statue, though. There's a more cartoony statue that's in one of the parks. So a lot of the businesses have little statues and turtles outside of their businesses and have stuff with turtle in the name.
Whatever happened to Oscar? Could a turtle of the Beast of Busco's size actually have ever existed? According to Churubusco turtle expert Rusty Reed, the answer is yes, though maybe not to the insanely massive size of legend. If Oscar was a real turtle, he most likely had to have been an alligator snapping turtle. The world record for the common snapper is 70 pounds, but the much larger alligator snapping turtle has a recorded weight of 236 pounds, with a legend of a 403-pound specimen having been found in the Neosho River of Kansas in 1937. Alligator snapping turtles perform warmer climates, but they have been spotted wandering north as they get older, and with gaining about a pound per year, the larger specimens are typically found north from their usual stomping grounds. That being said, Reed claimed that if an alligator snapping turtle did get as far as Indiana, it would have to be massive for a turtle. But there's no way it would have been the size of a dining room table or car as claimed. A more likely reason for this...
There's no way, because, like, there are giant soft-shelled turtles that reach 500 pounds. The Hochheim turtle that I mentioned before, they're the biggest freshwater turtles in the world, and they do reach weights of up to 500 pounds. So that's like a real thing that does happen. It does exist in nature.
The size being given would be that snapping turtles have proportionally larger heads than most turtles, and it can cause people to overestimate their actual body size. To back this up, there is no claimed sighting of anyone having seen the Beast of Busco fully out of water, making the claim much more likely to simply be an exaggeration. As to whatever happened to the Beast of Busco,
even if he is like just 250 pounds or so, even if he's half the weight that they're talking about, that's a huge turtle, especially in Indiana, where this typically not the range of this animal, right?
Well, he hasn't been seen in over 60 years. Some theorize that perhaps it had used an underground channel to make its way to another lake, though this is unlikely since there's no proof to show that Folk Lakes has any underground channels linking it anywhere else.
Because Folk Lake is a fucking pond.
Especially with the many feet of muck that makes up its flooring. The other theory, one Reeds believes to be more accurate, is that in Harris's attempt at draining the lake, the beast burrowed itself into the lake bottom in an attempt at escaping, and in doing so, it suffocated. We may never know for sure whatever happened to the Beast of Busco. There are chances that it may even still be alive to this day. As with all turtles, snappers can leave exceedingly long lives, with claims of up to 400 years. We can at least be sure that Churubusco will continue.
The 400 years. Well, a snapping turtle that big could be a super centurion, though, for sure.
Celebrating their turtly neighbor for years to come. But what do you think? Do you think the Beast of Busco was real? Could it have been as large as Harris claimed? Do you think there's a chance it could still be alive to this day? Let me know in the comments. I read them all for future video ideas and to see how many other people enjoy learning about spooky stuff like myself. If you want to see what I release in the future, consider subscribing, liking this video, clicking the bell, and sharing it with others. Many of my videos are thanks to suggestions given to me, so feel free to let me know what you'd like to see covered next. If you'd like to support me in other ways, consider...
Alright, so this was Wicked Encounters. We may revisit her. I did enjoy this channel. I am gonna subscribe, and I am gonna give her a thumbs up. I'm not gonna comment though, not right now. But I do want to have a quick look over here and see what it's looking like for. They just had their turtle days. So we missed it, folks. It was last week. Or the week before last week. Obviously, it's going to be all about Oscar in here. The story, the mystery of Turtletown, USA. That takes you to their wiki page, I guess. And this one. Yeah, that's the statue I was talking about, though. That one right there. It's super cute. Really cartoonized. It looks like the turtle they used to, like, remember those commercials where they like, oh, you want to join this drawing school? And they'd send you the picture of the turtle to draw, and you send it back. Turn myself up or the video down. Well, I'm done with the video. But am I really quiet? I hope not. I can bump myself up. I don't want to peak though and have my voice all cracking. All right, so time for part 2 of this wild ride, because more recently there's been another giant snapping turtle, not in the Rocky Mountains as this image might imply. Now this is a real documentary, so I may have some trouble bouncing around in here. So I'm gonna do a few. Look how absolutely massive that is. Look at that. Looks like a goddamn trimmer, like the Trimmers monsters.
What in the hell?
It is an alligator snapping turtle. I'm almost 100% on that. Whether it's a real specimen or a replica. Yeah, it could be a graboid. The thing about alligator snapping turtles is they don't generally hunt on the banks. They have a lure on the inside of their tongue. They lay on the bottom of a body of water and flick that around and attract fish. They're pescatarian. Now they will eat other things that get into it, but they're not generally not like a crocodile on the banks grabbing animals coming down for a drink. Generally speaking. Oh my goodness, we should probably tackle those at some point too. These Viking artifacts in the New World. Some of them are fake, some of them are real, but depends on how far they are from. Yeah. Anyway, they're gonna get caught up on that for a minute.
Really amazing. It's a stone they found in Minnesota in 1898.
And I guess we should visit Lake Minnetonka now. So, zoom all the way out. Oh. Straighten yourself out. And then we're going to go all the way up here to Minneapolis and Lake Minnetonka. Lake Minnetonka is actually a lake, so that's different, right? Didn't see that coming. Where can we drop down to see the water best? Can we see the water from here? Yeah. Okay, that'll work. So, yeah, there's the lake. It's an actual lake with home for turtle. Home for turtle. And it's big and expansive. It's everything you expect out of your lake. Littered with islands. Brian, it doesn't move as far as I can see. So, yeah. All right.
Well, the chicken's gone.
So they set out a trail cam, put some bait, and here's what they captured.
And you can see a path.
Cars.
Taking the back, plug in
It took
the.
one
There we
picture.
go.
What in the heck?
There's an eye.
There's an eye. There's its beak.
All right. So this is the picture they got. This is what we're gonna wrap the segment up on too here. So, okay, I was muted for a while. So there's a turtle's eye there. They said, this is the beak. That'd be the neck and stuff. There's only one picture. There is more to this series, to this Minnetonka series. Or Minnetonka, Mikinak series. And there's actually a few different channels that
You guys, it
Cover
all
it.
happened it happened in an instant, man.
I mean, just making a road and just feeding as it goes. A lot of people are missing dogs and cats. It comes.
Why would a snapping turtle eat dogs and cats? Stop it.
On the north side. Just let it hibernate. Then it gives us time over the winter time to figure out what to do and how to handle what we're finding. And that's where you just leave it.
Turtle hibernates. We drink beer.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Go for it.
Take a little break. I'm in.
I'm not really interested in that, though.
And I don't care. Your neighbors, the community, because there's always small children on that lake. There's always small children on that beach. And this creature's just going to sit there one day and it doesn't know what it's doing, and all of a sudden it just snatches one. Somebody has to eventually do something, because if you don't, then you're just endorsing what it's going to do.
Turtles do
I could
not
tell by
snatch
Slayton's
people off the
intensity that
beach.
I knew that time was ticking.
They've never done that.
We start finding out that he's doing things like putting bait stations out.
Maybe a few that trying to be here then.
How big is this thing?
He's shooting a 50 cal.
Species. I've been in the water countless times with them, and I never feel threatened by this species in the water.
You've just provided us with some amazing information. That's been great, because we've been wondering for the last year about a lot of this stuff, and all of a sudden somebody's sitting here telling us exactly what we kind of wanted to learn. And
Run for him to come in.
What we'll do is we'll take this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they got a big old gun.
You got
That's
everything.
what they
You got
need, right? This is what you need for a turtle.
She's loaded already. She loaded?
That's what you need for a turtle, guys.
Set this up. Go shoot our special target down there. Anything and everything that we come near. It was just like this massive wallop that hits you. The amount of pressure that comes back from it. And it's just enormous. You keep looking at that thing and you're like, my God. We think that the cloud went a good 100 feet in the air. The full out explosion radius was intense. It flattened everything near it. When you hunt, you kind of need to know what you're shooting at.
Yeah, I am making constant commentary. I did let them talk a little long there about what they were planning on doing. I don't feel like I let that one play very long, but I'm done with that video. Anyway, I do want to again reiterate the range of the alligator snapping turtle. It does not actually extend into the area where either of these creatures are sighted, because Churubusco is north of Fort Wayne, right? And Lake Minnetonka is west of Minneapolis. And as you can see, Fort Wayne and Minneapolis are well outside of the range of the snapping turtles. Now, hypothetically, alligator snapping turtles do live in the Mississippi, so they could travel upstream. There used to be bull sharks that would travel as far upstream as Alton, Illinois, which is pretty damn far upriver. But now the Mississippi itself is covered with locks. Now, regular snapping turtles live all the way up into Canada. Like there are huge ones. The video I saw of one eating a porcupine was in Ontario. So, somewhere up in here. So yeah, snapping turtles do live up there, and they do have that is their range. But the regular snapping turtle, common snapping turtles, don't exceed 100 pounds, like ever. As far as I know, there's never been a regular common snapping turtle that's exceeded 70 pounds. I mean, I'm welcome to be proven wrong about that, but that's been my experience. But I also know for a fact that alligator snapping turtles do live in Lake of the Ozarks here. But for some reason, it doesn't include that in their range, which is weird. It actually makes a loop around it, but there are alligator snapping turtles in this huge giant lake here. Yeah. Or alligator snapping turtles. Anyway, what do you guys think about giant snapping turtles? If I'm blurry, let me see if I can unblur myself the old-fashioned way, or you know what? No, that's fine. You're good. All right. Thank you for sticking with me for that. I know they didn't want us to be talking about their turtles, but we did it anyway. We did it anyway. You cannot police me from reviewing your cryptozoological claims, sir. If you're going to make claims that you have footage and videos and pictures of giant snapping turtles in the wild, then you have to allow cryptozoologists who are skeptical of your claims to examine your evidence. You can't shut me down and keep copyright striking me. I'm doing this publicly. I don't believe you. I don't believe you about your picture. I think that picture was some sort of model. It didn't look like a real animal. All right, this is the Mikinak, not Oscar. I believe in Oscar and I love you. I think Oscar was really a giant alligator snapping turtle that was a few hundred pounds that lived in that lake. I believe in Oscar. I don't believe in these guys' Mikinak evidence. I don't believe in that plaster cast footprints because it looks just so perfect. Just so perfect. Every toe digging into the dirt just right at a straight angle in a clear, nice, muddy patch. It's very suspicious. The second picture, I believe you. Maybe that was a turtle. Maybe it was a turtle. But it's hard to judge the size when it's that close to the camera. But I do want to know what you guys think, though. I do want to know. There are other giant turtles in the cryptozoological sphere, but these two are the most famous. The other one was, again, the Hokkien turtle that was legendary and thought to be a cryptid, and then turned out to be real. And that was going to be included in today's show, but I thought, no, this is Asia. Eventually I'm going to do a video on cryptids that turned out to be real. So I'm not going to do that on this because we do need to take that with a pinch of salt, right? With just a little pinch. Anyway, turtle attached to his foot. What? Are you talking about Jonathan, the old turtle? Yeah, Jonathan's the oldest turtle around, or oldest. Well, I say turtle, and yes, turtles. Tortoises are turtles. Turtles is a clade. And tortoises are a clade nested within turtles. So if a sea turtle is a turtle, then a tortoise is a turtle. If you get my meaning. Anyhow, yeah. So let me know in your comments down below. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.